Hi guys, good evening all of you. Good evening everyone. I said good evening everyone. So in the last class was fairly about doubts and everything. Just a normal discussion. It was fine. In today's class, we will continue with our project. Correct. So for you, what we have done is now you in the React actually you know how to write the components. Correct. In the React you know how to write the components and everything, fine. And React configuration also you have done, also the tailwind css configuration also you have done, and many more things you have done, correct. So what we have done is that we have provided you the static codes. Yes, we have provided you the static codes. Static code means it's just written as a component. How the integration is happening with the Redux, how the integration of the Redux is happening with the backend, those things are not written. Fine, those things are not written. It's just purely to save the time we have given, we will give you all the static components written. Fine. Okay, all the static components, we will give it to you. Fine. So do you want to know where it is? So what you have to do is that you have to get your static codes in the resources. When you go to the LMS, guys, fine. When you go to the LMS, you will get the resources. You will go to the resources. In this resources, guys, you have the project. If you open the project, if you open the project, fine. Good evening, Kanashri. Okay. If you open the project, you will get the static frontend.zip file that you need to download it. Fine, that what you need to download it. And now the css and everything actually it's written inside this. Fine, everything is there inside this static frontend.zip file. So you open this, actually you download it, it will get downloaded over here. Fine, it will get downloaded over here. Now what we have to do is that um let's do one thing. We'll go for the download. Fine. So as you can see, guys, static front end is there, src is there, correct, src is there. Okay, this src needs to be taken out. Fine, this src is needs to be taken out. What I will do is that inside over here, I'll bring out this src. Okay. Okay, now whatever the things are written inside this src means your assets, components, css, pages, app.css, and app.jsx. All these things, guys, all these things you have to and copy and paste it inside your. Fine, you can copy over here, copy and go back over here inside the front end, inside src, fine, and paste over here. So it will ask you to replace these files, two files. Okay, let me decide each file. So this each file will be of app.css and app.jsx. So we will replace this file. So As you can see, this one we need, and this one app.js is this one. So both of them we need this thing. Fine. You can can replace this file. Fine. Once it is done, you can delete this src, as it will create confusion among others. So you can delete this src over here. Okay, it will get deleted. Fine. So this is where you will find all the static codes. Okay. So if you go to the src app.css, first of all, if you see, you'll find all the codes. Find all the CSS over here. You'll also find the CSS as a folder. In this CSS folder, we have auth. We have in the CSS folder what in the auth how we have written. In the common for the common folder what it is, and everything is written over here in the CSS. Once you go to the home page, this is our home page. Fine. Let me run this project and let me show it to you. Okay. Let me run this project and let me show it to you. Fine. So what I will do is that I'll open an integrated terminal. Fine. And split this. Okay. I'll write npm run development. Okay. So it will run the front end and cd double dot forward slash backend. Okay. So npm run development. Okay. So backend and front end both will be running. Good evening, guys. Nothing you have to do. You have to go to your LMS. Fine. In the LMS, okay, in the LMS, you have this thing, resources. In this resources, you have to go to the project. Fine, Vaibhav? Project, and this one you have to download it. And whatever there it is, you have to copy paste inside our front end SRC. Here you have to copy paste it. Understood? Don't replace the src folder, otherwise you will lose what you have written in the front end inside the src. Whatever you have written over here, like redux, slices, stores, and everything, that you will lose. Fine. That's why I'm not suggesting you to write to what you call copy paste directly the src. Open the src, copy all the things, and paste it over here. Done. This will save lots and lots of time, guys. Once it is done, if you can open localhost 5173, okay, localhost 5173, inspect it. Okay, so this is how it's going to be look like. Static, nothing is working, nothing is over here working, everything is static. Okay, so before this yesterday's sessions and everything, I have given you one homework to do, guys. Have you done that? I have told you to write one Redux inside the Redux slices, one UI slices I told you to write. Fine, if you have not written, it's okay. Let me help you to write it. Fine. Okay, let me help you to write it. So in the slices, new file, fine, UI slices. Okay, means related to any changes in the UI. .js. Okay, .js, we are going to write this thing. Okay, fine. So first of all, import import create slice create slice from @redux toolkit. Fine. Okay, const UI slice. Fine, const UI slice is equal to create slice. Fine, create slice, and over here we are going to give the name. Fine, name as I will give UI, because it is connected to whatever the you are going to make the changes in the UI. That's what it is going to be connected. Fine. Now we have to write the initial state. Okay, if you remember, we have to write an initial state over here, in which I will write the auth mode. Fine, auth Moodle open. Fine, auth Moodle open. Suppose if you go to our project, our main deployed project. Fine, let's go to our main deployed project, Synthesia. Okay, fine. Um, okay, it will take 1 minute to load. Fine. So here you will see one thing, that if you click on login, you are going to get like this. Okay. If you click on sign up, you are going to get like this. Fine. So everything is a pop-up. Fine. Everything over here is a pop-up. Fine. We are not changing any pages or something like that. Fine. So everything is a pop-up over here. So same thing, for the same thing, for achieving the same thing, what we have written, the auth Moodle is a open, which is false. So Moodle is open or not, that we have to decide from here. Okay. So now it is not open. Now it is false. Auth mode. Fine. Auth mode over here. Auth mode over here is what? Login. Fine. Auth mode is what? Login. So this will be auth mode. See, if it is a login, in at the starting we have a login feature. Fine. Because you see, if we click on the search, fine, what it is opening? Login, not sign up. It has not opened sign up. If we click on the sign up, what will happen? The auth mode will change to the sign up and it will open the sign up one. Okay, fine. So we have three type of auth mode in which three different types of pages will open. Pop-up will come. Three different types of pop-up will come. First one is the login, which is by default. Second one is sign up. And the third one is to forget the password. When you forgot the password, that time also the pop-up will come. Okay, that time also the pop-up will come. Okay, so these are some of the initial state, guys. Okay, then we have reducers. Fine, reducers, when to open this auth model, when to close this auth model, and when to switch this auth mode. For that we are writing. Okay, for that we have to write. So the reducers over here. Okay, open auth model. Fine, when should be the auth model open? State comma action. Correct, state comma action over here. Fine, over here state dot auth model open. Fine, state dot auth model open. So when we want to open that auth model, it will become what? True. Fine, it will become what? True. And state dot auth mode, fine, will be equal to action dot payload. if no action dot payload is given, so by default you take it what? Log in. By default you take it what? Log in. Everybody else is enjoying Pongal, so very less people has came. That's why Onam festival, Pongal festival, Makar Sankranti. Okay, fine. Now next up, what we have to write is over here only, that is close auth model Moodle. Fine. So close auth model over here, it will be what? State comma action. Fine. So state dot auth model, when I click on close auth model, when I choose close auth model, what should happen to the auth model open? It should be become false. What it should become? It should become what? False. And the state dot auth mode should become what? Is equal to login. Correct? It become to what? Login. Okay. Switch auth mode. Fine. Switch auth mode. Then at that time, what should happen? State comma again action. Okay. When we want to switch to the auth mode, state comma action state dot auth mode. Fine. State dot auth mode is equal to action dot payload. Understood, guys? Action dot payload. Fine. And at the end, we will write export const open auth model. Fine. Close auth model and switch to auth mode. Fine. Is equal to UI slice. Fine. Dot actions. Export default. Fine. Export default UI slice dot reducer. Then what we have to do? Tell me. Okay. Now we have to go to our store.js. Correct, guys? Over here, we have to write UI reducer. Fine. UI reducer. Okay. UI reducer, configure store and everything. Fine. And over here, I'll write import UI reducer from dot forward slash slices dot UI slice. Fine. Now, guys, listen over here. That we have now created the store. We have written the reduces. We have written the slices. But where this store exists, how React is going to take data from there? We have not done that configuration where React is actually taking data from our store. That configuration we have actually not done. So for that, what you have to do is go to the main.jsx, because over here app is the one file which is the important component. That one component which is the important, which is the entry component, I would say. Correct. Over here in the app, you write provider. You write what? Provider. Fine. This provider actually, fine. This provider actually, it will come from our React Redux. Fine. So over here you can import um, provider. Fine. From React Redux. From provider will come from the React Redux, and see we have actually what you call surrounded that provider with surrounded the app with that provider, and then we'll write over here store is equal to store. Now this store is coming from where? Redux store. Fine. So yeah, over here you can see the store is coming from where? Redux store.js. So now whatever whatever in the store you have written, you see whatever in the store you have written auth UI, then all the methods and everything will be available to this application. Fine. So what I have done, I've wrapped the provider with this application. Okay. Save this. I hope you have written, guys. Okay. Now let me walk you through about how our project has been made. Fine. Let me walk you through to that. Okay. So for that, let's come to the coding part. Okay. Let me walk you through this. Actually, our project is just one page. One page. Fine. If you go to the pages and you go to the home pages, fine. So in this home page, fine, you will find that there is some songs written over here. Okay. In this songs, we have something called side menu, main area, footer, and authentication. Sorry, side menu, main area, and footer we have. Cool. Fine. So this thing, this main home page.jsx is our main page. Fine. So over here, whatever you see, it is coming from the home page actually. If I comment this out, fine. If I comment this out over here, side menu, you'll see that the side menu is not there. Fine. So as you understand, like this, it is coming from the home page.jsx. This is the entry one. Fine. Now what you have to do? Now one by one, we have to go inside this particular component, side menu, main bar, and footer. So once you go to the side menu, now side menu is written inside our layout. Fine. Fine. Inside our layout, it is written. Okay. Just a second. Okay. Okay, guys. Really sorry. I think this layout, what we have created on the last class, that we need to delete it. Fine. Because see, it is outside this outside this components, one layout is there that you need to delete it. So please delete that. Fine. Please delete that. Fine. So inside the components, if you go to the layout, we have the side menu.jsx. And if you see the side menu.jsx, whatever we were writing, exactly it is like that only. The static home page. Fine. In the static home page, you have the like home, but home. Fine. You have search, you have favorite. As you can go over here, home, search, and favorite is there. Now functionality is not there. That's what I'm telling you. Functionality wise, we don't have anything. And also, if you go down, we have the user. Fine, we have the user, we have the IO settings, app and applications. So this thing. So if you click on something, it will not happen. Anything is not going to happen over here. Fine. Okay, in the search it is there, but nothing much as in what you call functionality we have. Okay, that's all thing is static, even though the search song is static, as you can see over here. Fine. So that is one entry point. Then second is what main area. If you see the main area, this is where the game begins. Okay. So the main area over here, first of all, we have auth. Fine. Now this auth is one component which is written inside auth.jsx. In this auth.jsx, what we are doing, we have the sign up and the login buttons. Okay, these two buttons. So these two buttons are coming from where? The auth.jsx file. Fine. Then we have to write the functionalities where we can get a pop-up window for sign up, for login, for reset password, for forget password. That components actually we have to create today in the class. Today we will do that. Fine. Just I'm walking you through the project, how the project is actually gone. Okay. Then after the auth.jsx, if you come again back to the main area, actually I'll open over here the main area. We have the playlist. Okay. Now this playlist over here, actually it is inside. Over here you see. Fine. Playlist is over here. This playlist actually showing you the workout, chill, happy images and relaxing images and everything. So if you go and check over here, these are the playlist. When you click on the playlist, again, this should change the data over here, but it is not changing because it is a static data. Fine. But it is resembling these datas over here. Workout, chill, happy, relaxing, rock. Fine. So this is the data. This is the static data. This is only the type of data how you will get from the Jamendo app. Okay. After this playlist, when you again go back to the main area, we have search bar. Okay. So if you go to the search bar over here, you can see it's fairly easy, an input tag we have written and all those things we are getting. So if you go to the search bar over here, this is what we have created. This is what we have created. Fine. Okay. In the main area again, if we have view home, then playlist. If we have view search, then search bar. If the home or search bar or anything is there, then song list we have to display. Fine. If the view is home or the view is search, song list we have to display. So what is this song list? So over here, if you go for the song, you'll find, sorry, uh, 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 yeah, song list over here. Sorry, my bad. So this song list is very simple. It is a table. Fine, it is a table. Okay, and in this song list, we in the table we have this is the heading th tag. Fine, and then td tag over here with the map functionalities. Over here. So every song, so songs over here, it is coming as a prop over here, and it has been displayed in the songs list. Fine, it displays as a songs list. So this is what it is going to be displayed, this song list. Fine. Okay. Next up in the main area, if you see, we have song grid over here. Song grid. So it will show up when you click on the favorite. When you click on the favorite, it will show you the song grid. For now, if you go to the song grid, now you will not find anything because we don't have any favorite song till now. So it is not going to show you anything. Okay. Now, after the main area, when we over here, this is how the component has been created. Okay. Then we will move back to the footer department. In the footer department over here, you can see the song details. It is showing. Fine. So let's go to the song details over here. If you go to check the song details, it will show you the name, artist name, images of the song, and then how it beautifully it has been written over here. That's so over here. This one, it is showing you the song details. Song details. Fine. Okay. Then again inside the footer we have the control area. So the control area resembles of this thing, this whole thing. Control area resembles of this whole thing. Okay. So if you go to the control area over here, if I open this control area over here, you will find play pause button, over here. Fine. Heart for favorites. Fine. Then we have the next track, then we have the previous tracks, and we have the volume, we have the span. Fine. Now see, everything is statically written over here. Fine. We didn't give any dynamic values. So you will find these things. So this is what we call as a control panel. This is one component called control panel. Next, we have this volume one, a volume, and next shuffle and all those things. It is there. So we'll go back to the footer, and then we have the features state. Features over here resembles of this one, where we have the volume. Fine. We have the shuffle arrow. We have the loop, and then we have the pop-up button for asking various options of the playback speed. Fine. So this option for the playback speed it is. Fine. Nice and easy. Okay. If you are thinking, sir, then how to create a guest and all that, we will create guest, sign up, login, the pop-up things and everything. We are going to write it actually. Other than that, we have given you everything which is needed to start integrating front end, back end, and databases. So do you have any doubt in this? Do you have any doubt over here, guys? Did you understand how our flow is going on? Okay. I think the regular people who were joining has not come to this course. Guys, can you please tell me, do you have any doubt over here? Did you do up to here or not? I think Vedashri Prabhu only doing. What about others? Musical vibes, and all those enjoying Pongal. uh, Ovi, yeah, tell me, are you able to understand what we discussed till now? Should I continue or not, guys? Friday, you all will come because I can see nobody is replying. So if nobody is replying, then how can I teach? Hi, hello. Okay, fine. New batch, I don't have that much idea when it is going to start, Sahib. I don't have idea about that you can call the counseling team and then you can ask them when the new batch is going to start. You can go to webstackacademy.com and there you'll get a phone number. You can call them and you can ask them, or you can fill out a form. They will reach you. Okay, fine. So next up, what we have to do is that as you understood the flow and everything, next thing is that close everything first of all. Okay, and then let's go to our like auth and components. Inside the components we have auth, correct? We have auth. In this auth, let's start writing and let's start creating our sign up pages. Fine. Yes, we'll start creating our sign up page. So inside the auth, let's create a new file and let's write a new component called sign up.jsx. Sign up.jsx. Okay. Now this we will do it from the scratch, RAFCE, fine, so that I can teach you how the integration is happening from the on the React with the store, with the Redux store, how the integration is going to have, how you can take the data out of that Redux whatever and the functionalities what you have written and then use it. Fine. So I'll do this component today. As I can see, very less people has joined. So it's okay that if we fairly do this only thing over here, or instead of sign up, let's do a easy one over here, that is log in. Fine, that is logged in. So I'll write login.jsx. Okay, login.jsx. Fairly do this one, that will be nice and easy. Okay. So the first thing over here is always to write the static code. Fine. Always to write the static code. First thing over here. Okay. Okay. So I'll write the class name, login wrapper. Fine. Login wrapper. Okay. And inside this div, we will have an h3 component. Fine. We'll have an h3. We'll tell you about the class name. Fine. Class name as login title. Fine. Login title. Okay. Then we'll write welcome back. Okay. Welcome back. Fine. Okay. After this p tag, we'll have some class name over here. Okay. In this class p tag class name, we will have login subtitle. Fine. Login subtitle. Okay. So here I'll write, please enter your details to log in. Fine, to log in. Enter your details to what? Log in. And then we'll start writing the form. Yes, we'll start writing the form over here. So the form will be written. Fine. Over here, no need for now any action or something like that. Okay. In this form, in this form, uh, okay. We will write. Okay. We'll write a div element. Fine, a div element, and this div element is called like Wait a second. What should we write? Dev element, anything, class name should be what? Okay, no need of div element. You just start writing like this inside the form. What we have to do, we have to write a custom component actually. Fine. Why we have built a custom component, an input custom component we have built, why we have built an input custom component? Because see, this input tag sometimes will take name, sometimes it will take email, and sometimes it will take password. Okay, so it's better to create a custom component which will accept different types of values from the user, and and uh, help us to like write the minimalistic code available. Fine. So that's why we have created an custom component, input custom component, and all the functionalities of the input one we have written and there. Fine. So let me just help you to create that custom component. Okay, so that actually will be inside the components. Fine, inside the component we have written inside the input.js. Now here you will not be able to see because I have not given you. We'll write it on your own, on our own. Fine. So the new folder over here, this new folder is called common. Means whatever the common datas are there, common components are there, that what we are going to write it. New file, and over here input.jsx we will write. Fine, input.jsx we will write. Again, I will do an RFC. Fine. And over here, one more thing you have to do is that uh, import the CSS part. Yes. So double dot forward slash, and again double dot forward slash. If you come out CSS, then forward slash auth, then forward slash input dot CSS. This you have to write as your CSS component. Fine. Oh, okay. Over here, what they are expecting. See here, this custom component will accept two, three things over here. It will accept the what type of value you are sending, first of all. What will happen when the on change property is going to be running? Fine, on change property. Then what type of label? Yes, label means whether it is a password, whether it is an email, name, whatever it is. Then the placeholder also we are taking. Fine, placeholder. And then what type of data we have? What type? Fine. So input type we are going to write now, that type we have written. Fine. Over here in this div element, fine, return, and this div element, we have written the class name. Okay, the class name is what? Input wrapper. Fine, input wrapper. Okay. After this, what we have done is that in this we have written the label. If you remember label, fine. In this label, we have not written HTML for or something, but we have written over here, it will display the label. Now, whatever the label you will send from the custom component input, that it is going to show you the label. Fine. Then we have div div dot input container. Fine. Div dot what? Input container over here. Okay. In this, we will write an input tag. Fine. We will write an input tag. Okay. Of the type. Now type over here will vary. Okay. The type over here will vary. This is why we have written it as a custom component. Fine. Okay. Then we will write the placeholder will be what? Exactly whatever the placeholder you will say send. Okay. Fine. Then on change or anything. Fine. Value is equal to what? Will be the value what you will send. Fine. On change will be a callback function where on change is being running. Fine, with an event like this. Okay. Now you can send anything, e dot whatever it is. Fine. Class name will be what? Input field. Fine, input field. Okay. Now in the type, what we have to write? Fine. So if, see, in the type, what we have to write, suppose this type, if it is equal to password, fine, then what we have to do, fine, if it is equal to password, then what we have to do, uh, if we are showing the password, fine, if we are showing the password, then we have to write it as a text. If we don't show the password, then we have to write it as a password only. Fine. See, what do I mean? Let's write one state over here where I can actually show you the password. If you have seen, when you go and log in somewhere, you have an option to show the password or not. An I button is there. Actually, we are going to apply that I button over here. So for applying the I button, what we have to do, we have to remember the password, and the memory can be created only in the React with the help of use state. Correct? So that memorization, let's create that thing. So const show password, comma, set show password. Fine, set show password is equal to use state. Fine, use state, and what it is written, false. False. Fine. Now I'll write a functionality where we can toggle this password. So const toggle password. Fine. Toggle show password. That's what you can write. Toggle show password. Fine. Is equal to, over here, set show password. Fine. And then show password. Like this, you can write it. Fine, like this you can write it. And over here, if the password is there, if the type is equal to password and the show password is true, then what you have to do? You have to show it as a text. You have to write the type as a text. Otherwise, it is a password. Fine. Or 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 let it be the of type. Understand this thing? Okay, if the type, now type, if I have written type as a password, it will not show you the password. Correct. So here I have written the condition that if it is a type of a password, then if the show password is true, means this one is true, show password is true, then it should show as a, the type should be as a text, otherwise the type should be as a password. And if the type is not equal to password, then it should be as a type only. Fair enough? Fair enough? Okay, next what we have to give the sign of the I sign, and when you click on the I sign, what should happen? All those things we have to write it. All those things we have to take into the consideration. Like if the type is triple equal to what? Password. Fine. If the type is triple equal to what? Password over here. Fine. And double and like this. Fine. So the button, one button we are going to create, that button will be the type of what? Button. Yes, button will be type of what? Button. Class name will be like input I button. Fine, input I button. Okay, over here we'll write if the show password is true. If the show password is true, then we have to do something. Otherwise we have to do something else. Correct? Correct? So here we have to write fag I. Fine, fag or fa registration I Fine, it is coming from actually okay, we'll import this. Actually, it will come from React icons. Fine. So over here, we'll show you the size of 22, size of 22, size of 22, and on click property over here, toggle show password. Fine. So this is what I want to do. Okay, I want to show the password. Okay, means if it is available or not. Okay, so over here what will happen, if the show password is true, it will make false. If the show password is false, it will become true. That's why I've written set show password is not equal to show password, is not show password. Correct. Okay, now next one I will write this time fa reg. Fine, reg I slash. Okay, fa reg I slash. Slash means when the I is closed. Okay, I will be what? Closed over here. Okay, so over here size will be what? Again 32. Okay, on click property, as it is a button, on click property over here, toggle password. Fine, toggle password. This one, sorry, not 32, 22. And that's all what we have to do inside our input, custom input. This is what we have created, a custom input. Fine, and then let's import whatever it is needed. So import, fine, from, okay, React icons, fine, / fa6. Okay, so over here fa6 will come what? Fa reg I, fine, and comma fa reg I slash. These two things will come from React icon fa6. If you are not understanding, wait, let me write the let me use this custom component, and then you will understand every bit of it. Understood, guys? So let's use this input custom component. Fine, let's use this input custom component inside our login. Okay, inside our login details. Fine. So what we have to do over here, we'll have to write an input one. Fine. You can see the suggestions are also coming like this. An input tag we have to write. Over here, we have to give the value first of all. So now see what what are the things that input tag. Okay, let me do one thing. I'll open this input tag over here in the side. Now see everyone. Input tag, what are the things it is expecting as in props? Value, on change, label, placeholder, and type, correct? So we'll write everything. So value over here will send value is equal to what? Email. Correct? Value is equal to what? Email. On change. Fine. On change. If you remember, we have what you call a controlled element. What are the 3 steps to write the control element in React? So those 3 steps we are following. Fine. So is equal to we have to write on change. Fine. Event, and then over here we have to write like set email. Fine. And before writing set email, what we have to do, we have to just go on the top. Okay, and we have to write the state over here. Yes, if you remember. Okay, so 2 things we will write. Const email comma set email is equal to use state and empty string. Correct? Similarly, I should write for the password and set password. Okay, again empty screen. Fine. Okay. Now over here we will write e dot sorry, set mail e dot target dot value, that we have to write. Okay, on change e dot target dot value. Then we have to write what? Label. So what will be the label? So label, you can write email address. Okay, email address you can write label. Okay, next placeholder, you can write John Doe @email.com. Fine. Placeholder. So what value, on change, label, placeholder we have given. Type is what? Type is email. Done. Now you see guys, everything what we have given to there, we are accepting those email. Fine. Value is accepting this value over here. The email value will come. Okay. And over here it will do on change will support this set email. This functionality will come over here. So instead of on change e, we will write this thing, whole thing. Done. Label, password, placeholder, and type email. Everything it will go. Fine. Similarly, we can write it for the password. On change set password, fine, e dot, fine, e dot target dot value, fine. Then over here label we will write, label is equal to what, password, fine. Placeholder, so minimum 8 character or 6 character you can write, you write minimum 6 character. In the backend you can check how many characters we have allowed, fine, so that you can write. So minimum, let's write for 8 characters, okay. And over here type is password, sorry, small p if password, fine, done. See, very easy we have written, okay, very easily we have written all those things. Okay, next guys, what we can write over here, we can write over here that a button we can write, fine, a button to submit the form, if you remember. So button we can write, fine, and that should be the type of what, submit, fine, that should be the type of submit. Some class name, I'll write some class name over here, and this class name I'll write like login submit button, fine, login submit button. And then I'll write disabled is login, or is loading. So when the loading screen will be there, then that time it will be disabled. Okay, inside this I will write a span tag, fine, I'll write a span tag over here, is loading, if it is there, if it is loading, that time I would write it as logging in dot dot dot, fine. Else what I should write, log in, simple as that. And can you tell me guys where this is loading will come from? Where this is loading is going to come from? Okay, so over here if we go to the Redux slices, auth slices, if I open, correct, can you see is loading is there, error is there, we can use this thing, is authenticated is there, token is there, user is there, we can use these things, fine. How to use these things? So for them, for using this Redux values inside our component, actually we have to write something called dispatch, and we have to use this. There is something called, if you want to give any data, you use dispatch. If you want to get any data, you use selector. That's the two things only. Two-way communication only can happen. If you want to give something to the Redux, means if you want to give the user data with the help of sign up or something, use dispatch. If you want to make an API call, you can use dispatch and everything. Okay. But if you want to take the data from this state, from the store, you need to use selector. You need to use the use selector hook. Fine. So over here, I will write const, fine, is loading, fine, const is loading, comma, what more we can take? We can take error also, no? Correct, we can take error also. Okay. Error is equal to, we can use selector, fine, use selector, use selector, and then over here you can write the state, fine, state dot auth value we are taking out of them. State dot auth value, see, fine, this name auth value we are taking is loading an error from there, and obviously you need to import the auth, sorry, use selector. So import use selector, fine, from React Redux. Fine. With this error, what I will do, you know, over here before this button, if I am getting any error, if there is any error, then I need to show the error screen. Fine, means error component I will show them. Okay. So if there is any error, then fine, then one div element I will write, and I have written, fine, if you remember why I have written an and, a div element, sorry, in this div element, I'll give some class name over here. This class name will be what? Login error. Okay, login error, and here it will display the error. Whatever the error it is, it will display that error. Fair enough? Fair enough? Okay, then I have written a form. Okay, I've written a form. We have to write one, what you call, function, one function which will help us to submit this form. Correct? We'll write that function to help us to submit this form. When this form is submit, when you will have the input, when you will have the data inside your input. So what will happen when you submit this form? What should happen? It should go and call the API. Which API it should call? Can you tell me which API it should call? It should call this API, which is localhost 5000 API auth login. Then only we will receive the data. Then only what we will receive, or what will happen, the Redux will be getting updated. The data in the inside the Redux will be getting updated, and then we will get logged in. True? Fine. Then we will get what? Logged in, guys. Okay. Okay. So see how to do that. After is loading error and everything, what I would do, I'll write const handle login, fine, handle login is equal to, now we are going to talk with the APIs and everything, so we are going to write it as an asynchronous operation. So asynchronous event, fine, asynchronous event. First time when you are handling the form, first thing what you have to write, e dot prevent default. e dot what prevent default. Okay, then what we have to write, clear the errors. Now clearing the errors, guys, it is a functionality. Fine, we need to use this functionality, we need to call this functionality. Fine, so for calling this functionality we need to use a dispatch. So I will write const dispatch, fine, is equal to use dispatch. Again, it will come from React Redux use dispatch like this. So whatever the use dispatch functionality is there, see here, returns the dispatch function from the Redux store. Means whatever you want to dispatch it, it will return that functionality. So you have to write dispatch, fine, clear error, fine, and it is coming from where? Redux slice and auth slice. See, it has been imported. Okay, now we'll use the validator over here if no, if validator okay, before this let me confirm one thing, that have we installed validator or not. Yeah, validator is there. Validator does nothing, just validate the inputs. Fine. Okay, so where validator means validator dot is email, so it will return if you have written in a correct format. Okay, if you have written in the correct format, so it will give you a true value. Validator dot is email, it's true. Fine. So over here, if validator, fine, we will import that validator, don't worry. Fine, validator dot is email, fine, we are going to use that is email, and we'll pass the email value. Fine, if it is not correct, means false, fine, then what we have to do, we have to dispatch set error, fine, set error, again set error came, fine, so error value over here, sorry, set error over here, so we have to send the payload. Fine, we have to send the payload. So set error, we have to send the payload, and that payload will be please enter a valid email address. Okay, please enter a valid email address. Fine, let me just import validator from validator. Correct, now it makes all sense. Okay, and then after this what you have to do, return, because I don't want to execute further, they are getting an error. Okay, then if you have not written any password and then you are clicking on the button, then what I have to write, dispatch, fine, set error, fine, set error, that please enter your password. Please enter your password. That is what it is. And then after that also, after this also, we want to return it. Return. I don't want to do anything over here after this. Okay. Fine. Then dispatch set loading. Fine. Set loading. Okay. Will be now true. Okay. Now you can start the set loading. True. Make the loading statement true. This time what will happen? Once you have made the loading statement true, then I would call an API. For that, we are going to write inside the try catch block. So I will write const response is equal to await Axios. Fine. Now we'll take the help of Axios. Okay. So Axios dot post request. Fine. Now we have to write, guys, the HTTP colon double forward slash local host, fine, local host, colon 5000, fine, forward slash API, forward slash auth, and forward slash login. Fine. With this, okay, what we have to send? We have to send the email ID, because it's a post request, and the password. Fine. With this, we have to send this. And then whatever the response we are getting, we are writing const data is equal to response dot data, or an empty object also we can get. Fine. Then what we have to do? Then what you do, whatever the data now you are getting, guys. So you have to write dispatch. Fine. Dispatch set user. Dispatch set user. Now set user over here will come with what? Will come with what? The over here. See, user. Fine. User, you have to write state dot data dot user. Okay, then comma token data dot token. Fine. And dispatch over here, it will be inside bracket. That's why it is upset. Dispatch is upset. That's why, because you have not written inside the bracket. Fine. After this, what you have to do? See, now what we have done, we have called an API over here, and we have sent the email address and password. Whatever the response we are getting, we are writing inside the data, and then we are calling the set user, which is this functionality, which will help to update our store data, which is this user. Correct, which will help to update our store, which is this user. Fine. Now the user will get updated. And similarly, what I will do, local storage, fine, local storage dot set item, fine, and there I'll set the token, fine, token, and comma, I'll write data dot token. What I have done, I have set inside the local storage. Fine. And after everything is done, what we will do, I will write dispatch, fine, dispatch close auth, fine, close auth Moodle. Close auth Moodle is coming from where, guys? If you remember, UI slice. Okay, UI slice, close auth Moodle. What will happen? It will auth Moodle open will become false, and the state dot auth mode will become again login. Fine. And then you can write a console.log. You can write a console.log login successful. Fine. This is one function I am writing. This is everything is written inside one function, which is called handle login. Everything is written inside one function, guys. Let me remove the spaces so that you cannot have any confusion. Handle login. Fine. And then error. Lastly, the error that const server message. Fine. Server message is equal to, will have tag error. If error is there, then check for error.response. Fine. If that is also there, then check for the data. And if that is also there, then check for the message. Fine. Or error dot response dot data dot error also, it can happen. Fine, anything. anything is fine. And dispatch what? Set error. Okay, and there you have to write either the server message or or login failed. Login failed. Fine. This is the functionality you have to write. Okay. Lastly, what you have to do, you have to go to the form. Fine. You have to go to the form, and over there you have to write on submit form. And I think we forget the class name over here. Class name we have to write what? Login form. Okay, login form. And you have to write an on submit. On submit handle login. Fine. So on submit is a help us to run that handle login. Whenever you click on the submit button, this function will be running. So when this function will run handle login, so this it will do whatever we have written. Correct? It will do whatever we have written. Now guys, over here, if you go into the music player application, fine. Now you see we don't have that much of error. Okay. Okay. So what I will do, just to show you, you don't do it, fine, or you can also do it, no issues in that. Just to show you, either over here, I'll copy this line. Okay, instead of writing it as a home page, I'll just write a sign up page, or sorry, login. No? Login we have done, login. Fine, I'll just write it as a login, just like fine. So over here, if you see, we will have some errors. Okay, use state is not defined in the input tag. Okay, that is one error. So fine, we'll write this. Let's see what more errors we get. Nothing more errors we are getting, but one thing I can see that we are not getting the submit button. Okay, because I think we have not written as a submit or is loading false or true. Okay, let me check. Okay, is loading is coming from auth slice, correct? Okay, there you see the button. This is the login button, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, it has been like mixed up with over here. So this is the login button. Fine. Actually, what I want you to show is that whether we are able to log in or not, whether we are able to fine, see how the login works and everything. Whatever we have written, let's see how the login is working, and let me tell you how it is going on with our project. Okay. So over here, we'll write WSA. Okay. Okay, I'm not able to write over here. There you go. Okay, maybe input tag, value email. Okay, fine. Did do any mistake? Hmm. Oh, I think so. No mistake I have done, but why I'm not able to write the input over here? Yes, because of this small spelling mistake, guys. As you can see, very small spelling mistake. Okay, now I think I can write wsa@gmail.com, and please look over here whether it is working or not. So 123456 is the password. Let me click on the login, and as we click on the login, guys, nothing is happening in the network tab. Fine thing, and it is showing me login failed. Okay, okay, fine. So front end also no issues. Let me check why the login got failed. Maybe what is happening is that uh, correct, we have not imported Axios. If you remember, we have used Axios, but we have not imported Axios. So import Axios from Axios. Correct. Now let's try again. Fine. wsa@gmail.com. Fine. 123456. Okay, let's write a send. So when you send a login button, when you send that, what happens? See this login network request. If you go, see I have sent, I have, if you see the payload, wsa@gmail.com 123456, I have written, that is the payload I have sent. And in response, I'm getting user logged in successful. And so this response, as you can see, user I'm getting, and I'm getting a token. Correct. Now if you go to the application, and if we have written correctly, you will get the token, exactly the same token what you are getting over here. Fine. EYJHB, and it should be ending with quite a long N88. So if you go over here, application, it is also ending, it should be also ending with N88. So the token is successful. Okay, so token is successful. So let's see how it was working, actually how it made that thing. So once you got the response, see this is what a kind of response you will get. Okay, so this response actually comes towards, this response actually, once you have made the response over here, this come actually towards your data. Now in the data, you have data.user, data.token, and data.message also. You have data.user, you have sent it to the set user, where we are in the auth slice, we are updating our user. As you can see, it state set.user is expecting payload, action.payload. This is the payload we have sent, and then it is setting the user and everything. Is authenticated true, state dot is loading is true. Okay, one more thing I will show you, that over here if you go for Redux, fine, and if you see that auth that set user has been running, fine, and you can see that the user data from null, it has been to this data, token was this, is authenticated was made from false to true, and is loading was made from true to false. See, exactly. The first, see, when we hit the APIs, first it clears, then it make the set loading false to true. Then when the user data we get, it updated our, see, user data, and then close the auth model. That's what it has done. So these things it run when we clicked on the login. It means our login is working. Now I want to ask you one more thing. Is this correct to use like this over here? Is it a good way to use like this HTTP double forward slash localhost and 5000? No, because you see when APIs endpoints will not change, but when you deploy it on the render or somewhere else, that backend data can be changed. So it's better to write it inside our environmental variable. Fine, where .env value. Now .env value where you will create? You will create inside front end, not inside any folder or anywhere. You right click over here, create a new file and create .env file. Fine, .env file you create over here. In this env file, you have to write like this: wheat underscore base underscore URL. Fine. Wheat underscore base underscore URL is equal to http colon double forward slash localhost colon 5000. Fine, colon 5000 over here. Okay, then we have to use this wheat. Fine, wheat base URL. Fine, so how to use that? Okay, so to use that, what you have to do is that you have to first of all remove this thing, dollar curly bracket, you have to write import. Fine, import dot meta dot env. Fine, dot wheat underscore base underscore URL, like this. Wheat underscore base underscore URL, and before that you have to write import.meta.env, and then you have to write your API auth, because this is not going to change. This is what we are going to change. Fine. Okay, if you deploy it. Okay, now let's test it again whether it is correct or not. So I'll write WSA. Now you see the everything has been refreshed over here in the Redux. This is the Redux toolkit, guys, and it is available over here. Redux Dev Tools. Fine. As a Chrome web store, you can download it. Fine. And once you download it, it will be available on your right click and inspect button. Fine. So now if you go to the Redux, now nothing is there. Now we will start writing WSA @gmail.com. Fine. Password is 123456. Okay. Let's log in. Fine. Let's log in. So now you see, first of all, auth.clear run. Fine. Then auth.set loading will become false to true. Then auth.set user. What happened? The user data updated, the token updated, is authenticated, updated, is loading, updated. Fine, and then close bundle. Now these things, how it is being uploaded? Because guys, uh, you have actually written over here state.user action.payload.user action.payload.token is authenticated true, is loading false, error null. You have written these things. That's why that updated. I hope you understood, guys. Did you understand, guys, how everything is working? So that's all for today. So thank you guys for joining. Thank you for your time. And tomorrow you don't have class. We'll directly have a class on Friday. Fine, there will do more of these stuffs. Again, we will do write it for the sign up and let's see how it is done. Fine. So thank you guys for joining this session. Hope you have a great night and happy Pongal, Makar Sankranti, and Lohri and to you. Thank you.